Hello and welcome to the Remote Gaming Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Kevin Corkum, alongside the Texas Lone Star himself, Joseph King. Joseph, how are you?
I'm doing good. Trying to get cameras set up here. I keep getting referred to as this Texas Lone Star, and it's like, I hope there's like no fans of Walker Texas Ranger or anything like that. That they're just gonna assimilate me with, some pistol packing, ocelot type guy. But
That's
I'm,
that's how I like to envision your life, like outside of the podcast, is that you're just kind of like walking around your hometown with like pistols shooting in the air, and
I live
saying
in
yeehaw.
Texas. You can do that. That is a thing you can do. So
Well, you can do that in Florida now too. So
that's very true. Yeah, I've been good. As you can see, I'm sorry if there's a glare. I'm wearing my blue light glasses. I've been in front of the computer all day today doing video editing and homework, and so my eyes are just killing me. So if I blind you out, I'm sorry.
no, that's totally fine. I saw a funny, not a funny, I saw a TikTok the other day talking about blue light glasses and like screen fatigue. And
Mhm.
I have blue light glasses that I use all the time, but they were like, blue light glasses don't really help that much. It's just because you don't blink enough when you're at your desk staring at a screen. And I was like, well, is that true? So I've been trying to make, and because I sit at my desk all day too, right? Like this is, I,
Right.
I, I work 9 to 5. I fucking sit at my desk and sit on Zoom calls and, all that kind of fun stuff. And I've been trying to blink my eyes more over the last few days, and it's definitely been helping. So blink away. Show us those
No-
beautiful lashes.
yeah, just constantly. I mean, physiologically, that makes sense because of the eye strain.
Yeah,
Um, I think there is a correlation between blue light glasses actually do helping at night when it's dark. Like right
I
now,
hope so.
they're probably not going to serve me any benefit, but they actually are like as I've aged, which you will experience one day, my friend. My vision has decreased. I technically guess I do have 20/20, but reading these are like 1.5 or 2x enhanced, and so it actually does help me read the words better and just see things clearer than I normally would. So I use them when I game. I use them when I'm like late at night, but that's probably true. There's probably no blue light benefit with the sun still out.
I still wear them. So any little
Fuck you,
bit helps at this
science.
point. Exactly. It's all about placebo, baby. All right. Well, let's dive into it today. There's a lot of news. There are a lot of things that happened in the last week, so I'm excited to dive into those.
We've grown.
Want to we have grown. I wanted to talk about that a little bit as well. We have some new subscribers. We're gaining a little bit of traction here on YouTube, which is really cool. Joseph's been working really hard at throwing together some really good YouTube shorts. So those have gotten more views than we were expecting, which was
Yeah.
really cool. So check us out on YouTube if you want to see our beautiful faces. They're there. We're putting out shorts. I'm putting out TikToks as well. You can always catch us right in to the show at remotegamingpodcast@gmail.com. We have another write in today from Matt, which I'm excited to get into here. Catch us on Twitter. I'm active on there. I'm tweeting. I'm tweeting at people. You can see some funny banter between me and maybe some people in the games industry at remote underscore gaming 20. Catch us up on Twitch. I would love to do. I'm shooting this at you live, but when Arc Raiders comes out, it would be fun to do an Arc Raiders stream with the two of us since we've kind of been simping over that game for the last like 6 months. It feels like so maybe streaming that together would be really fun on the channel just to get some fun shenanigans that we usually have when we game. We'll have a couple drinks and play Arc Raiders. I think that'd be fun. But I mean,
I'm
it'd be a
totally
great game.
down for that.
Yeah.
We had pitched the idea too of doing our favorite games of the last 25 years when we do Game of the Year. I think we're gonna live stream. That'll probably be around the time the Game Awards happens. And one of the
Yes.
first things we did on this YouTube channel, which the video is still up, is our reactions to the PlayStation 5 reveal. And so I
Yes.
think, yeah, I'd definitely like to do that. I actually have a couple of gameplay things that I've recorded that I'm thinking about uploading to the channel. So maybe some Let's plays, just kind of going over the years of Metal Gear and things like that. I don't know, just a bunch of stuff. I'm simping for Metal Gear like you simp for Kingdom Hearts. So
That's right. And if you want to see a really funny YouTube short, Joseph put a really, really funny YouTube short together. At least I think it's really funny. On me simping about Kingdom Hearts and him shitting on it. It's really funny. Go listen to it. It's on YouTube Shorts and
when I
TikTok.
when I made that, I didn't. I honestly didn't think you talked about it that much until I made that, and so God only knows what my Metal Gear and love triangle with Kojima is going to be.
Well, it's one of those games where I feel like you have to say the title a bunch of times too. Like
Right.
it's such a weird, I don't know. But it's funny. Go check it out. Appreciate you guys. If you're new here, what's up? Right into the show. Be a part of it. Thanks for the eyeballs and the earballs. Let's go ahead and dive into our audience questions segment. This comes from Matt. He says, "Greetings, dweebs. Thank you for the insightful answer to my question last week. In answer to one of yours, another great game I just can't get through is Red Dead Redemption 2.
Mm.
I've put around 100 hours over multiple playthroughs, but just always seem to lose steam right around the Shady Bell area, chapter 4, I think," he says. "I know the game is a technical marvel and the core gameplay can be very fun, but it's just so tedious. The more simmy aspects of it just lose their luster pretty quickly for me. Weirdly, I haven't had the same issue with any of the GTA games or Red Dead Redemption 1. Anyway, I'm currently playing through Silksong. It's riddled with bosses, secret areas, wild combat, platforming challenges, etc. I'm trying my best to play the game organically and avoid spoilers and guides, but I am a man with limited gaming time, so I've leaned on the internet for some help occasionally, mostly for locating specific items. My question to y'all is this: at what point do you look up a guide for a game? Do you only use them for an item hunt type quest, finding all of the ravens in God of War 2018, for example? Or will you bust out YouTube for a challenging boss or environmental puzzle that's giving you trouble? Do you think using a guide to beat a game or get the platinum cheapens the experience? Is there a type of challenge that you absolutely refuse to look up a guide for? Personally, I'm happy to put the reps and time in for a boss fight, but I'll give something like an environmental puzzle or item hunt maybe 20 minutes before just looking it up. Looking forward to your responses, Matt." Okay, there's like 7 questions in here,
There's a lot to digest in that.
but I'm going to let me start, and I'll talk a little bit about my experience with Red Dead 2. I'm in the same boat as you, Matt. I have a lot of hours in that game, and I love it. It's great. I still haven't finished the damn story. I don't know what it is. I think the gameplay is fun. It's just so slow. Everything that you do in the game takes a while, and I started playing this game, if I think I've told the story before. I started playing the game when I was living in New York City. So I was living kind of this fast-paced lifestyle. Everything was so fast around me. I was like, you get out of your apartment and you're running around, and all craziness ensues when you're in New York, right? And I would come home and I would play Red Dead 2, and it would be this slow, drawn out experience, which on one hand was really nice because it was an escape, right, from that fast lifestyle. But on the other hand, man, I'm like, can you just fucking pick the thing up and put it in your bag and let's go? So I think that's where I am with it. I'm going to go back and finish the story at some point. It's one of those games I go back to and probably progress like 5 to 6 hours every year. I'm almost there. Put it this way, like I love the acting, I love the story, everything about it is really, really great. I think I agree with you though, as it's the more simmy aspects of the game, they get they get a little much. They get a little tedious for me personally, but I don't know, Joseph. What are your thoughts? I know you love Red Dead. I'm sure you finished it because you seem to finish more of these types of games than me.
You know, I I agree with both of you guys. That is a very um, long road to hoe, as it were.
Yep.
It's tedious. It's definitely slower paced than a lot of Rockstar games. Definitely more so than like any GTA. I think I find it as similar to my experience with GTA 4. And in terms of pacing and writing, it takes quite a while to really kind of get into some of the character development. Not GTA 4 is definitely a lot quicker than Red Dead is Red Dead is one of those games. I think like there was a podcast. And I can't remember who said it. It was like if you had to go to prison, what game would you take if you had to take one game with you to prison, or if you could only play one game forever? One of them is on our top 25 games list that we'll talk about later because it's one of my favorites of all time. And the other one I think would be Red Dead Redemption 2. It's just such a slow burn. The Matt writes NAC has put it over 100 hours. Hell, I think I was about I've put over 200 hours into Red Dead, and I did beat it, and I think it was close to the 100-hour mark by the time I rolled credits because I burned out on getting the platinum, and I was just like, I got to finish this damn thing. So, yeah, it's very technical. I think the going through the drawers, the rummaging aspects of Red Dead Redemption, I guess those semi parts of reality. I get where people have a problem with it. I like it because when we talked about Death Stranding and things like where being in the world that the the developer wants you to be in, Red Dead is just one of those games for me. But I could see why somebody would pick any GTA or Red Dead 1 over 2. And honestly, you think about that year, and we'll talk about it too when it comes up. I think that's probably why God of War probably won over Red Dead, where it's just some of the pacing issues of that game. It's a mile deep and a mile wide.
Yeah, it is. It was designed that way, right? I think it was intentional. I will play it and finish it. I probably will wait until the next gen update, so I can play it at 60 frames on my PS5 on my couch and not have to worry about it. I think they've
If
announced
that
that
ever
they're doing
comes,
that. I think
I
they said that they're doing it, but
I'm gonna look that up while you
yeah, look it
answer
up
the next part
while I
to especially because
while
I
I
don't think so.
but if it comes, that's when I'll play it. I did boot it up and it's still at 30 frames on I couldn't do it. I wanted to play it at 60. I'll play it at 60, 1440p or something like that. But to answer the second half of your question, it basically surrounds when do I use game guides or when do you use game guides to help you? Do you think it's cheating? Do you think it's cheap? I'm going to go ahead and say we touched on this a little bit a few weeks ago, but play the way that you want to play. I don't really think it matters. Personally, I will, for boss battles, I will tough it out and figure it out on my own, similar to you. But if it's a puzzle or something that I can't figure out, I don't play video games for puzzles. That's just not my idea of fun, sitting there trying to figure out how this small fucking peg fits into this hole and you got to move this four directions that way. I don't care. Just
Your video game hell would be The Witness.
yes. Yeah. Literally. I can't stand puzzle games. It's not fun for me. So yes, I would absolutely use guides for that. I think platinum guides are totally fine to use. I don't have an issue with that at all. If you need to go, it's a collectathon at the end of the game and you need to go figure out where things are. I have done that for many things. That I very similarly to you, I don't have a ton of time to game. I wish I had more time. I try to make as much time as I can, but listen, time is money, time is valuable, and you don't always have the spare time to spend playing. So, if it means that you have to use a guide to get through and enjoy the game, just do it. I don't think there's any harm to it. Joseph, I think we pretty much agree on this, but what do you think?
Yeah, no, I agree. So when he talks about using a guide like off the rip, I know a lot of people do this with like FromSoft games, right? Like Dark Souls and Elden Ring. I always use I try to play blind as possible on my first attempt and see what I can find. Sometimes in those games they are so obtuse that I don't care who says what. I don't. It's very. It would take probably over 200 hours playing Dark Souls completely blind because the storytelling is so obtuse. It's very theme based. It doesn't give you any direction. There's no hand holding. So I think a lot of people that played Dark Souls, they they used a guide at some point. I tried not to. I didn't use a guide in Elden Ring until I think it was after I beat Radon. I was trying to figure out where to go next, and I'll do that, right? Like I'll look up where's the next place to go if I get stuck, but I won't do it unless I'm like platinum chasing, like I did for Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. I used a guide on one of the for the collection things. But yeah, puzzles, like there was so many times in Uncharted it's easy, but I just didn't give a shit. I would just be like,
Yeah.
okay, what's the answer to this? Or Tomb Raider, the Tomb Raider reboots and things like that. Yeah. Real quick to go back, no, nothing official from Rockstar. However, there are rumors that suggest a next gen version or upgrade patch is planned for released. It was indicated in Xbox leaked documents back in 2022.
Mm.
However, recent information has surged at multiple gaming outlets that 2025 points to a possible development alongside our rumored Switch 2 port. So if it comes to Switch 2, maybe we will get a 60 FPS update.
I'll make you
Yeah,
really mad and I'll make you really mad and tell you I'll buy it on fucking Switch too.
you would do that. You would totally do that too. It would run at 30 FPS and you would buy the Switch 2 version
Play it
just
there.
because just because I can sit and take a shit and play Red Dead in
That's
the
right.
woods.
That's 100% right.
Thanks for writing in, Matt.
Thanks, Matt. Uh, all right. Well, what have you been playing?
Just finished. I am 2 trophies away from the platinum. I started my extreme run on Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater, and you have to do that under 5 hours, no alerts, no kills. It's attainable. It's just honestly it's map memorization, trying to memorize a path and then reload your save because you're bound to get caught because enemies can see you from like half a mile away, and so it's going to be difficult. But I'm really excited to do that. But yeah, other than that, really nothing. What have you been playing?
Been playing more Borderlands, played a few more hours of that. Game's still fucking really fun, and the FOV slider has made a just a massive difference in playing the game. I don't get headaches anymore. It feels much faster, which the game already felt pretty quick, even at that locked FOV. So just feels it's a joy to play. I'm finally getting some really cool loot, which is awesome. I need to go back and do some leveling. I am a bit under leveled right now. I'm facing enemies that are about 4 to 5 levels ahead of me, so I need to stop and do like some side content and whatnot. But I also bought Final Fantasy Tactics, the Evelise Chronicles. I've played about an hour. It came out yesterday. I've played about an hour to an hour and a half of the game. I don't have much to say other than I think I'm going to really like it. The story is kind of all over the place at the moment. I've heard that they have something similar to Final Fantasy. It's 15 or 16. Which one's the one that has the active like you can see the character members? It's 15, right? 16? No, it's 16. Anyways, they have a cool system in it where you can see the different characters, where they came from, what their intentions are as the story progresses. I've heard that this
Oh
game has
yeah,
that.
okay, I see
What
what
the
you're
hell is the
talking
name
about.
of
Yeah,
that system? I can't
it's
remember.
called active
Active.
active lore, I believe,
Yeah,
something
it's
like that.
awesome. So
Yeah,
apparently
that's
this game has it too, and I'm excited to hear that because right now there are a lot of names and there are a lot of different like not countries but like kind of factions, and I don't know exactly what's going on. But the combat's really fun. I'm still trying to learn how to move around the map. It's a little bit clunky to me. I got it on the Switch. It's the perfect Switch game. I can sit down and play a couple battles
of
and
course it
progress
is.
through that. I thought about. I
No,
mean,
it
this was one of
probably
those
is.
where it was like, do I buy it on PS5 and then use it on the portal, or do I buy it on the Switch? And I was like, I'll buy it on the Switch. I just think
Yeah,
it feels right there. Looks great. There's two versions of it, so they have just like the original Final Fantasy Tactics, which is true to the original PS1 version without the DLC that came to PSP, or it's different from the version that came to the PSP. There's something that they left out of it that's not in it. It's still not even in the remake version of it, the Evelise Chronicles, but apparently there's a bunch of other quality of life features and it's fully voice acted. The voice acting has been really fun so far. I don't know. I'm just enjoying it. I think it's going to be a good game. I enjoy games like this. I've always loved Fire Emblem. So this is like that, but it seems a little bit, I would say, more complex. You can change your jobs throughout. There's a lot of systems that I'm still just trying to wrap my head around. I'm excited to dive in more, and I'll continue to play Borderlands. I don't know, man. Fucking Ghost of Yotei comes out, and I want to play that, but I'm just not in a place where I can't pick up another game and play it right now. So
right.
I might wait on it and continue to get through Borderlands, but I really wanna play that game too. It's different than Borderlands, and it's different than this, but
You know
I'd be splitting my time between 3 games.
what's weird for me, real quick, I wanted to touch on Tactics. Tactics is one of the best Final Fantasy games of all time in terms of its narrative. I think it's up there with 6 and 7 and yeah, I mean, probably 9. It's one of
Yep.
the best ones. I still have my original PS1 Tactics disc because I got it because I was so enthralled after playing 7, and then I wanted to go play Tactics. But I just have never been into tactical RPGs, so it's very hard for me. So this will probably be something I pass, even though it looks good. Definitely probably going to pick up something more akin to like the Dragon Quest remake. I'll
It does
say
look really good
this
too.
about Ghost of Yotei. Um, I'm actually think I'm gonna pass on it, and it's just because I was watching. Was it Digital Foundry or no? It was Game Ranks before you buy.
Mhm.
And what's weird is I loved Ghost of Tsushima, but I put so many hours in that. I was very close to platinum on that one. This to me, I mean, yes, there are things like the graphics looks a little bit better than the PS5 version. I'm not completely blown away by them. I know that that might be a differencing of opinion. It just seems more of the same and feels kind of like DLC to where I'm at the point where I don't want to just go sink more time into that world. And I think it's also because I played a lot of Assassin's Creed Shadows earlier this year, and I actually like it. I think it's not bad. Say as far as like the new ones, you know, you got Origins, Odyssey, Valhalla, and Shadows. I think Shadows is up there with Origins. I really liked it. Didn't have a problem with the protagonist like a lot of people did, switching between the two. I think I feudal Japan fatigue. You know, you had Sekiro, you had Ghost of Yotei, I've had played Neo, I've played Wu Chang, not Fallen, yeah, Fallen
Fallen Warriors? Fallen
Fallen
Okay.
Dynasty. I played through that. There was that, or I think it was Wu Chang Fallen Dynasty. Something. It was the one that came out a couple of years ago, and then you had the new one, Fallen Feathers.
Mm.
Um, you've had Sekiro, but that atmosphere of like feudal Japan and things like that. If you're a fan of samurai games, you're getting a lot. What was that one that was a PlayStation exclusive that was developed by the Team Ninja that came out? But it was the graphics were terrible.
Oh my god.
Ronin,
Yeah.
The
Oh,
Last Ronin.
yeah, The Last Ronin.
You know, there's just been so many, and I don't know if I want to spend my time going back into something so similar to Ghost of Tsushima. It looks good. I feel like I'm going to miss out because you know Legends is there from the rip, and yeah, I don't know. I think it's a game I pass on.
Yeah, I'll get it at some point. I just don't know what that's gonna be. I mean, hell, I could be sitting down on a Tuesday night. I don't want to play Borderlands, and I want to play something else. Maybe I'll pull the trigger on it. I have a friend who's like really obsessed with was really obsessed with the Legends mode and Tsushima. And I know he wants to play, and I told him that I would buy the game and play with him.
Right.
I might get it for that reason because I adored that Legends mode, and if they expand and make it even better, that would be so neat. So I don't know. I will play it. The graphics look fine. I mean, they look. The game is beautiful. Ghost of Tsushima is beautiful. These games are stunning. They are of incredible high quality. Like you know, you're going to get a great game. I just don't know if I'm in the mood for it right now. Similar to you, but I don't know, man.
The
Everyone
gameplay
starts
doesn't look
playing it.
the gameplay doesn't look different enough to call it. I'm sure it is a complete. I mean, it's like 200 years after Jin Sakai's death, which that's not a spoiler for the game. It just takes place 200 years later. Um, but combat and gameplay wise just seem more samey to me, and it's just like, does that justify a $70 purchase to pretty much play an identical copy to Ghost of Tsushima?
Do
And
you
to me,
think do you think sales are going to be soft on this?
I do, because I think there's a lot of assholes that are like trying to put their foot down because of that
Mm.
the
Oh yeah.
the controversy with the voice actress. I think that may have slightly affected it. It's probably helped it too, you know. Probably helped its sales. I think people that played Ghosts, if you really liked Ghost of Tsushima, you're probably buying that day one. If you were like me and like that year, our favorite game that year was The Last of Us Part Two. Uh, you may be on the fence. I don't know. I don't think it's going to sell as much as the first one, just because of what I said. I think there will be people on the fence that, well, this just kind of looks like DLC. And well, how does a developer change that? Like, how do you think they circumvent that?
I don't know that you can with a game this stylized. Does you're in I think something I think something that's really unique about the first Ghost game is that yes, it is set in Japan and whatever, but they did such a unique job of pulling in that art style, and it has this flair, this panache to it that I don't think a lot of other games in the genre do. And I think it's a blessing and I think it's a curse. Because I think the first time you see it, you're like, holy hell, I'll never forget what it's that
The haikus, that
beautiful
was all awesome.
everything is just so neat and so well ingrained in the game, right? The wind
That
directs you from point A
that's
to point
awesome.
B,
Yeah,
right? There's this hyper stylized Sony first party aspect to the game, right?
yeah,
That I think is hard to match. But I also think that very similar to what you see with The Last of Us Part 1 and The Last of Us Part 2 is that those games are kind of similar, right? In the way that they're
right.
told, in their visual style, it works. I think well in The Last of Us because it's a continuation of the same story. I think where Ghost might falter is that it's a brand new protagonist, 200 years in the future, but it looks the same. So I think it's just you're kind of damned if you do and damned if you don't. They've created
Yeah,
something really unique, but it's I don't know. It can be difficult to I guess marry the 2.
it's almost like they're trying to capture lightning in a bottle twice, because it's like you said, the wind guidance, the haikus, everything that was in the first one seems to be in this. But from what I've heard from watching gamer ranks before you buy, there isn't too much added to change and if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But yeah, I'm with you. I think there's just so much you could do, and they probably uh they got it. So that's the unfortunate thing is this is going to be a prime example, I think, of it's never as good as the first, with a lot of sequels.
Yeah.
Uncharted 2, I think, is better. Last of Us 2 is not better than Last of Us 1. um I don't
I don't
think.
know. I think it might be.
Maybe a gameplay perspective. I think narrative wise, no, but um, uh, yeah, I don't know, man. It's they both seem like good games. I don't. I think if you buy it and you're into it, you're not gonna have time wasted. Is what I'll say about Ghost of Yotei.
Yeah. It's gonna be a great high quality game, and you know what you're getting. So,
Yep.
that's a good and a bad thing. But, all right, let's move on to the news. Before we get into the news, there's a couple big stories here today that I wanna get into, but I wanted to talk a little bit about this. I was going to put it at the beginning, didn't feel right to talk about quite then. We wanted to talk a little bit about why we do this. We did that a little bit earlier, but we are a gaming podcast by gamers for gamers. And I think before the news is a good place to put this. We're going to be talking about big changes with Xbox. We're going to be talking about EA being kind of bought out by the Saudis. There's going to be just some things here, but I think it's a good point, especially this week with the Xbox stuff, to point out our perspectives. We are not gaming journalists. We are not coming at it from that perspective. We're coming at it from two people who play games all the time, who spend their hard-earned cash on games, who do not take out freebies from developers or anything like that. That's important to us here. And I think that when you're listening to a lot of people who are in the industry and they're ingrained in the industry, there's not this level of bias. That's not even the right word. They've just been doing it a long time, right? And I think that they have skews. They know people in the industry, and sometimes when I'm listening to people even that I know and respect in the industry and think are really really great talking heads and pundits and things like that, right? And I mean that in like the most respectful way. Uh, they know some of these people, like they know Ken Levine, right? Like they talk with some of these people. We do not. So I think that is a main reason why we want to do this. Why we just love games. We want to talk about them more. We want to be involved, in this industry from an outsider's perspective. But we're here to talk about games because we really love them and we're passionate about them. I don't know, Joseph. I threw this on you. I didn't put it in the doc, but I thought this was a good place to put this.
No, you're good. I'm glad you did. And yeah, we have seen growth, and we had talked about we want to continue to grow, and it's kind of like you had said. I go to places. I'm sure if you're listening to this, you have other podcasts you listen to that I could give a shit if I talked to Ken Levine. I think it would be cool. Don't get me wrong. Like I would love to, if I could talk to Hideo Kojima or anybody that's in the industry. That would be phenomenal. But being two random gamers, I'm more interested to talk to Matt or to have somebody on that uh, would be like-minded, and like that's kind of what we bill ourselves as. Is this is a podcast of gamers by gamers. We want you to write in so much because we decided to create something that we would like you to be a part of. And so, remote gaming podcast at gmail.com, obviously. Like, subscribe on, leave a comment on YouTube whenever you see this, even if it's on one of the shorts. Tell us what you thought was funny. Disagree with us, that's totally fine. We can have that's the point, I think, in this world that we live in today, is too many people want to be right and not wrong, or my side's right, your side's wrong. I'm down to have conversations, and if there's something that we get wrong, let us know about it. Like I said, we're just two dudes on the internet talking about video games, so I'm sure there's shit that I say wrong all the time. There was actually a couple corrections that I caught myself in when re-listening. One happened to be from Trevor's question last week when he talked about Assassin's Creed right again, and I kind of misread the story, and it's talking about getting rid of the animus. You're pretty much just going to play in the remake as Edward Kenway. There's no going to be this back and forth like there are at Abstergo, and I had read that wrong. And so, I'm going to catch myself. I have an ADHD brain, and so sometimes it takes me a minute to get back on track. So if there's something I say that it's wrong, or that is correct, absolutely write in and tell us so we can correct it, because I don't ever want to be construed as a liar or somebody disingenuous, and neither does Kevin. So yeah, if you got something to say or want to be a part of it, let us know. This is Gamers for Gamers, and we're just happy to have gotten a little pop. I told Kevin the other day that if our YouTube video gets 100 views by the end of the year, I'd be happy, because we're sitting here on October 1st recording this. And I think our last podcast is up to like 280 or something. So it surpassed. So thank you for watching. Hopefully this entertains you in some way. And if you don't like it, tell us what you don't like, and maybe we can fix it.
Yeah, 100%. I think what's really the most important aspect to us is building a community of gamers who give a shit about games, who play games, and who have played games for a long time. I think that's, we're kind of ranking our favorite games from 2000 to, we've played games. We have been playing games for a long time. Whether you're new or old or whatever, and you love to play games, we want you here. Let us know what we get right. Let us know certainly what we get wrong, and we'll kind of be on this journey together. But we thank and appreciate everybody who is listening. And with that being said, let's dive into the news, shall we?
Because holy shit, this week has been fucking stupid as far as gaming goes. This is some wild news.
It's wild news, and there have been a ton of changes with Xbox Game Pass. This was released this morning, bright and early this morning. Bear with me here, guys. There is a lot of new information. I've spent about 20 to 30 minutes before we started recording this to see how I can relay this in the cleanest way. But to be completely frank with you, even Xbox has not been able to relay this very well at all. So bear with me. I'm going to read some of what is coming from IGN here. I think they probably have the cleanest write up of anybody that I had seen. Bear with me. I'm going to read a little bit of this. I'll stop and I'll pause for comments as we move through. But man, there's a lot. Okay. This comes from Wesley Yin-Pol at IGN. Microsoft has kicked off October by announcing a significant price rise for Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, which comes just over a year after the last price rise for the subscription service. Some context here. In July of 2024, Microsoft raised the price of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate from $16.99 to $19.99 a month in the United States, with similar price increases occurring across other markets. At the same time, it introduced a new standard tier at the original Game Pass Ultimate price point that lacks day one game access. Now, just 14 months later, Microsoft has once again hiked the price of Ultimate, which jumps from $19.99 a month to $29.99 a month. That's an increase of 50% in the US, or an extra $120 per year. In the UK, it's jumping up 53.33%, rising from 14 pounds. No one cares about Europe. I'm just kidding. It is raising by by 53% from 14.99, or yeah, 14.99 pounds to 22.99 pounds, an extra 96 pounds a year. Now, the shakeup introduces three upgraded Game Pass plans: Essential, Premium, and Ultimate. Each includes expanded game libraries, including PC titles, unlimited cloud gaming, in-game benefits, including, Riot Games titles, and revamped rewards. Okay, so today's Game Pass subscribers will automatically move to Essential. Standard subscribers will transition to Premium, and Ultimate subscribers will remain in the Ultimate plan. While Ultimate is now more expensive, Premium, which replaces Standard, remains at $15, and Essential, which replaces Core, remains at $10 a month. PC Game Pass, which will continue to add Microsoft games day one, including Call of Duty, has its price increased more than a third. So it moves from it moves to like 16.50, up from $12. Okay. What do you think? Obviously, price hikes were inevitable. We knew that they were going to have to raise the price no matter what. Now, on your premium tiers, I'm going to read you this. This is from the Xbox Game Pass thing that Xbox released earlier today, and I'll read you what you get with each of the tiers. For Essential, you have 50 plus games now playable on PC, console, and cloud. For again, that you know, what the hell is it? This is all in European dollars. Whatever I said earlier, right? You get unlimited cloud gaming, in-game benefits, including for Riot Games, online console multiplayer, and then you can earn points. They keep talking about these points that you can earn to redeem things, right?
Yeah, I've got the US one pulled up in front of me too. It's $9.99 a month at this one. This is replacing Core, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. And now you have premium. So this one is the one that's sitting at Joseph. You have that price in front of you.
Yeah, 14.99. And this is where standard players were.
Yep.
They will go to this now, correct?
This is your middle tier. You have 200 playable games. New Xbox published games within a year of launch, so you're not getting them day and date. Unlimited cloud gaming with shorter wait times. In-game benefits, same thing as Riot. You get the online console multiplayer, and then you can earn up to 50,000 points a year with in-store credits, so you can earn rewards. That is your middle tier. Now, the ultimate tier with the biggest amount of changes. This is going to be moving up to $30 a month. You get 75 plus day one games a year, including all Xbox published games day one. Ubisoft Plus Classics and EA Play included, with Fortnite Crew coming in November. Unlimited cloud gaming at
Whoopee.
our best quality with the shortest wait times. In-game benefits for Riot Online Console, and you can earn 100,000 points a year in the store with rewards. Now, the updating pricing goes into effect today, October 1st, for new subscribers, and November 4th for current subscribers. As part of the announcement, Microsoft has added 45 new games to Game Pass. One of them I saw was Hogwarts Legacy. There's some pretty good titles in there.
Yeah,
So,
I've got that pulled up right now. I opened up my Xbox app while we're doing the podcast, and it looks like they've added pretty much. If you're a PC gamer, you know all about Ubisoft Plus. I mean, maybe you do, maybe you don't, but it's pretty much all of basically everything that Ubisoft has released, other within the last, except for the last like 24 months.
Yeah.
And then you got like Hogwarts Legacy, Persona 4 Golden is in there that I don't believe was there earlier. The biggest games that stick out of this would be Assassin's Creed Mirage, Silk Song, Hollow Knight. Hades is back on, which it was and then got removed, and now it's back. Hogwarts Legacy. I mean, there's kind of stuff that's somewhat new, but nobody gives a shit, like Skull and Bones. Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. That's actually a really good game. And Peppa Pig. Fuck yeah, Peppa's back. But yeah.
So let me do some quick math here. Um,
Quick maps.
I'm trying to figure out what's so 30.
Oh, you're
So
doing it like for a
it's now
year?
$360 a year
Fuck me.
for Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. That is more expensive than the Xbox Series S when it launched. Now, listen, you always pay more for software than you do for the hardware over time. That's just kind of the nature of the beast. I saw that around on Twitter, like, oh, it's more expensive than Xbox One at the launch. And I'm like, yeah, I spend more money on games than I do on the consoles, within the year of buying them, right? So that argument to me is a little bit mute. Here's what I'll say. Xbox Game Pass is still a great value if you only game on Xbox and PC, and if you utilize the cloud streaming aspect of Xbox. I saw something else on Twitter today, so take it with a grain of salt, but it came from a fairly reputable source where like Xbox players are trying, about $500 to $550 worth of games a year, right? They're logging into Xbox Game Pass and that's the average. Well, we know that Xbox players don't typically play and engage with games as long as players on other platforms, PC, PlayStation, or Switch. I have a feeling that a lot of people are going to be canceling or moving tiers from Xbox Game Pass Ultimate down to their premium. But you lose day and date games, which is the entire, for me, right? That is the
Point of Game
entire
Pass.
value add of Game Pass,
Yeah.
day one games. And they're keeping their promise. You do still have the ability to do that, but
You're paying for half the price of it for
you
1 month,
better damn well play a new game every month,
and
right?
you better beat it.
Right. Because I mean, so I was on. We were texting about it this morning. I'm on the PC, so the PC, so it was $12 a month. I thought that was a great value. I played 3-4 games on there a year on my PC, and that paid for it. Now that it's jumping up to 16, $17, I know it's only a $4 or $5 increase per month. I canceled this morning because
Yeah.
I just don't see the full value in that. It's crazy what a couple dollars will do for you, like it goes from being a coffee and a bagel and whatever to, okay, now it's Chipotle. Like I don't know. There's something about these increases that I have a feeling that a lot of people are going to cancel their Xbox Game Pass subscription. Xbox clearly the whole we are profitable, Game Pass is profitable, that we both agree that we don't know that that's the case. The math just doesn't seem to math. And a big increase like this goes to show you that, I mean, they could lose what, 30% of their highest tier members and still be okay because the price is going up. Is that what they want? I don't know. I'm a little bit shocked by the strategy. I think there's going to be some massive backlash while they added things like, hey, you get a fucking battle pass for Fortnite, and you have your Ubisoft Plus classics and EA Play included. Like they are adding some more value there. But for me, it's not enough. I don't play. I can't. I mean, I already have a backlog of games that I haven't finished, right? If I'm engaging on my Xbox Series X, and I have my backbone and I'm playing on the ROG Ally for $1,000 or whatever the hell it's going to be. I just, it's a big lift. It's a big spend. Xbox is clearly changing their business model up. I don't know where this is coming from, if this is coming from Microsoft execs, if this is coming from Xbox execs, but
Oh, this is
there's yeah, go for it.
well, sorry, it's real quick. First thing I wanted to touch on, because you said it pretty early in the article, the way it reads correct, your plan will stay technically where you are, but your price is just automatically going to increase. So, like buyer beware. Make sure you're paying attention to your uh, debit cards and your bank accounts, and make sure you're watching that, because it sounds like there is a potential that you're gonna if you're not paying attention, you're like, what the fuck? And
Yep.
so that's one thing. Um, there's one thing in this ultimate thing that I wanted to touch on real quick that doesn't really make too much sense to me. So, you get the 400 plus games, plays on PC, console, cloud, $30 a month, 75 day one games a year, 75 plus day one games a year. So it's like, how do you know for a fact you're going to get 75 day one games? I know that, not all, obviously it's not all first party, but that's like, there's no way to promise that. You know what I mean? There's no way to promise that you're going to get the contract for a party to put their game on Game Pass. And now I pulled up, and I wanted to see, when did Phil Spencer say Xbox Game Pass was sustainable first? When was the first time he said it? 'Cause that's the thing I joke about with him all the time. He said that in an IGN interview in November of 2021, around the Xbox's 20th anniversary, is when he first said Xbox Game Pass is very, very sustainable. He was halfway true. Uh, as long as we keep jacking up the price, we'll sustain. And you know, as a consumer of games, it's been great. And I think, like you touched on, if you either only play on Xbox or you only play on PC, it sounds to me like you're getting more games going to come to Game Pass. And so maybe, I mean, and this has to appeal to a very hardcore audience, I think. Would you agree?
I would agree.
Like, $30 a month, that's a little bit under half the price of a AAA game release. The thing that doesn't make sense is play and earn up to $100 a year in the store with rewards. The fuck do I need rewards for if I'm paying $30 a month and I have Game Pass and everything's coming to Game Pass if I'm on that tier? What does that mean? Like, that makes no sense to me. Includes game benefits, including Riot Games. I'm wondering, because I'm like thinking about Valorant, and I'm like, is this going to give you the battle pass for Valorant? But I'm wondering if this is going to tie into, uh, if you have Game Pass, when Riot's MMO that they've been working on for a while, when that comes out, is that going to be included into their subscription? That I wonder. And then also, at $30 a month and you own Blizzard, why the fuck is WoW's subscription? That game is too damn old to still be paying $14.99 a month. And I'm sure that'll get bundled eventually. If you want to play WoW, you have to do that tier, but it'll be $40 a month, so you get like $5 off of WoW, basically. I'm sure that'll happen, or I just gave them an idea. I don't know. Uh, this just is. I think, unless you're just all in, like you said, there's no reason for this, because what are we seeing on PlayStation, right? You got Sea of Thieves, Indiana Jones, Microsoft Flight Simulator coming, and Gears of War. And there may be something else I've missed. Minecraft's always been on the platform. Um, I think eventually you're going to see Master Chief on a PS5. I think Phil Spencer's plan is, I think he wants this Game Pass. I think he wants Game Pass on Switch, on PS5, on PC. Um, they'll keep making, this ROG Ally X or whatever that's going to be, and they'll probably make another, like, actual physical console.
Yeah.
But I I don't know, man. Like, it it I canceled. I canceled before this news broke, and I damn sure won't be coming back anytime soon, because at the rate I'm going with games, the price to entry to get those day one purchases and to the expanded library is now not worth it to me, because I'm never going to get to it. I have big enough backlog anyway. And so, if I'm going to pay $30 a month, and you've got all these games that I want to play, or maybe want to play, but there's a lot that I'm like, yeah, I'll give it a try. That's no longer worth it to me. I might as well just buy the damn game, and I'd rather just support the developer straight up. Is the way I look at it.
Yeah, I think about it the same way, really. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. I mean, I don't know, depending on what the backlash looks like and everything else. I mean, do you think there's a possibility they can roll this back? I don't think so, but it's one of those you
Oh
got to
no,
hit
hell
them where
no,
it
they won't.
hurts. You
No,
got to hit
they're
them where it hurts, man. If you don't like this, don't buy it.
yeah.
Unsubscribe.
Vote with your wallet. If you think this is bullshit, unsubscribe. Now, is it bullshit from a business standpoint? No. I mean, we know how undercutting it. This will potentially, hopefully, circumvent some of the cost of developers. Like I think majority of people that own PC played Expedition 33 through Game Pass. I did. I'm guilty of it. Right. I love that game. So far, it's probably in a running a tie for Game of the Year. I haven't made up my mind, but I did play that on Game Pass. I think there's a lot of people that play games on Game Pass because, as a consumer, it has been very consumer friendly. However, we know how long games take to develop. We know the price, the cost. We're seeing, I think, part of the reason Unreal isn't getting such, like I said, I think we think there is a memory leak issue with Unreal Engine 5, but at the same time, um, it's it costs a lot of money to develop games for these days, and so hopefully this benefits the devs. But at the same time, you're now including Ubisoft's. They're just sucking up all the competition, and now you're including Ubisoft's subscription service into it, which they already had EA Play. And does it help the dev because now you're putting more games on there? So I don't know. Maybe it probably doesn't, because now that you have all the Assassin's Creeds on there, and I think Ubisoft Premium was like 20 or 15, no, 15.99 a month for the, like, because that's how I played. I was like, well,
Ubisoft Plus.
yeah, I'll play Assassin's Creed Shadows for 1 month and then drop the sub. That's how I played it. Um, yeah, this probably isn't helping. This is probably because they're like, okay, we're gonna merge all these companies, so it's not gonna help the dev in the long run. So, um, yeah, I don't know. It just feels like this is the first of many things to come. I'm afraid, especially with some of the news you're about to read. I think we're gonna see a lot more subscription models. Like I said, I think Phil wants this on PlayStation. So I don't know. I hope this doesn't give Sony any ideas that they need to change what they're doing with PlayStation Plus. Um, but I think, like you said, there's going to be a significant drop in subs.
Yeah, I think Sony's going to stay the course right now. I think they understand PlayStation Plus is also a great value. There's a ton of games on there, right? There's still more games on that than I can fucking play right
Sure,
now. So
sure.
it's, I don't know if it's as value rich as Game Pass, but it's up there.
Now,
And
now
one
it
of the
is.
highest.
I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah. So we'll see. It'll be interesting moving forward to see how all of this shakes out. My gut call here is that people are going to unsubscribe from Game Pass, but I don't know how much it's going to hit them in the wallet. Depends on that number of how many
R-
people will. The internet seemed mad, but the internet's mad about everything. So
right. Real quick, is the only way to play day one first party
yep,
Xbox games with that $30 a month one? Yeah,
yep,
no, yeah, they'll 100% lose it then. Yeah, it's yeah, inevitable.
yeah. It stinks. So I'm sorry for Xbox fans and people who play exclusively on Xbox because that kind of stinks. If you have Game Pass and you're getting
They
bumped
did
up
it to
10 more
themselves, right?
bucks.
If they left it alone and they just did what PlayStation did, I don't think either one should have changed. PlayStation and Xbox should have given a free game away with their internet subscription to play on the internet, Xbox Live or PlayStation Plus. They should have just left it.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, people voted with their wallet, and we're in the position we are in. So yeah, I mean, you can be as pissed off as you want at Phil Spencer and Microsoft and whoever else, but um, ultimately, this is on us. Why people get mad that NFL players make so much money? Why do they make so much money? Because we fucking tune in every Sunday. So
yep. And God, do I tune in every Sunday? I certainly do, and Monday and Thursday, and sometimes on Friday, and whenever they
Saturdays,
have a game.
yeah.
Yep, and Saturdays when Saturdays happen. I'm there watching the NFL. It's a great product, in my opinion. All right,
Speaking of selling out money,
Speaking of selling out, this comes also from IGN. Who wrote this? The same guy, Wesley Yin Poole. This guy's cranking stuff out here. EA goes private in $55 billion deal with PIF, Silver Lake, and Affinity Partners. Andrew Wilson to remain as CEO. EA has confirmed it has agreed to be acquired by an investor group comprised of PIF, Silver Lake, and Affinity Partners in a transaction valued at approximately $55 billion. It's the largest all cash sponsor take private investment in history. Under the terms of the agreement, the group will acquire 100% of EA, with Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund, that's PIF, rolling over its existing 9.9 stake in the company. EA stockholders will receive $210 per share in cash. The per share purchase price represents 25% premium to EA's unaffected share price of $168.32 at market close on September 25th, 2025, and a premium to EA's unaffected all-time high of $179 at market close on August 14th, 2025. Following the close of the transaction, EA's common stock will no longer be listed on any public market. Here's a statement from Andrew Wilson, the EA chairman and CEO, who made out handedly in this. Our creative and passionate teams at EA have delivered extraordinary experiences for millions of fans, built some of the world's most iconic IP, and created significant value for our business. This moment is a powerful recognition of their remarkable work. Looking ahead, we will continue to push the boundaries of entertainment, sports, and technology by unlocking new opportunities. Together with our partners, we will create transformative experience to inspire generations to come. I am more energized than ever about the future that we are building. EA will continue to be led by Wilson and remain headquartered in Redwood City, California. The transaction is expected to close Q1 of fiscal year 27, subject to regulatory stockholder approvals.
I just sorry, I just got overwhelmed by
Wolf.
all the shit coming out of Wilson's mouth. Like,
Yeah. He
the-
said, I made lots of money and now
how
Saudi Arabia owns us.
I never thought, dude. I'll be 38 next week. I never thought in all my years of gaming and being a fan of the industry that I would see someone more greedier and more of a human piece of shit than Bobby Kotick. But lo and
Here we
behold,
go.
here we are. PIF, Public Investment Fund. This is basically 100%. This is the video game version of Live Golf. This is what
Yes.
this is. What this is.
Which
So if
I
you're
also don't like.
yeah, fuck them. If you're a sports fan, basically what Live Golf, or if you're not a sports fan, if you're basically what Live Golf was, is a in 2022. I think they started trying to buy it in like 21, but in 2022, Live Golf was created by PIF, the same company in Saudi Arabian investment fund that is investing into EA now to 100% own them. They bought or created Live Golf, and they took a lot of players from the PGA Tour to go play for them because they were like, "We'll pay you lots of money. Come over here because you're going to play for in Saudi Arabian blood money." But anyway, so this is pretty much the same exact thing that happened with EA. And so I sorry to interrupt, but continue on. I'll let you finish before I have more trains of thoughts to deal with this because this
I
is
mean,
fucking crazy.
honestly, that's basically all. The combined deal is not is for an equity investment of approximately $36 billion and $20 billion of debt, financing fully and solely committed by JP Morgan. So
Oh
there are a lot of
fuck!
banks rolled up in this. Each of PIF, Silver Lake, and Affinity Partners plan to fund the equity component of the financing entirely from capital under their respective control. The enormous sale comes days after EA releases before EA releases Battlefield 6, a crucial launch for the company, and hot on the heels of FC 26 and Skate. EA games in development will include Mass Effect at BioWare, Star Wars Jedi 3 at Respawn, and Iron Man at Motive. I think the most interesting aspect of all of this, obviously, like this fucking sucks. And I am not a fan of this at all for many, many moral reasons. Like just like a countless amount of them. I think this is shit. I think if you're taking Saudi money, you suck. That includes Tom Brady with this fucking
Mhm.
bullshit that he's doing. This includes, I think a lot of there's a big comedy festival happening now with like some of the biggest names in comedy, Bill Burr, all these people. Fuck you
Oh,
guys for taking this dirty money.
Did Bill go?
Bill Burr
I'd
is there.
heard that this was
So is
happening.
Chappelle.
Fuck me, dude. Dave did too?
Dave's there. All these, oh, we
Bro.
can't say anything anymore. Guys went over and literally are performing for people who hang people in the street and kill reporters.
So, real quick, I wanted to just kind of to just get into why you do what you want, listener. Nobody's going to tell you what to do here on the Remote Gaming Podcast.
Yes.
Like you said, we're just two random guys on the internet. But why I do not like PIF. Uh, PIF has been very heavily criticized uh, since going back to like the early 2010s. They are known to not, they can't give you a receipt for where all their wealth is coming from. So, uh, in 2016, the Wall Street Journal noted that none of the fund's investments were named, not a single one. According to Stephen Hertog, a professor at the London School of Economics, the PIF is seen as an opaque black box. Sorry, I just wanted to do an English accent. Few know what's going on there, including sometimes other government ministries. Like, people don't even know, like in the higher ups of governments, don't even know how they're getting their money. But anyway, as the PIF is a ministry operated company with an overwhelming focus on domestic investments, some scholars characterize it as quasi-sovereign wealth fund. The fund investments with the kingdom include dates, camels, and coffee, but also amusement, sports, tourism, renewable energy sources. And sports would be live, golf, and now video games. It was revealed in 2019. PIF paid a New York communications firm, Carve Communications, $120,000 a month to repair the Saudis' damaged reputation after the assassination of Jamal Khashoggi. He was a investigative journalist in Saudi Arabia. I don't know how he died.
Why? Yeah, that's so weird. Why would they ever want to kill an
Why
investigative
why why
journalist?
why, why would they pay $120,000 a month to cover up the debt? Anyway, um,
Anyways,
yeah, lots of shady business deals, and now they've purchased one of the largest gaming media outlets in the world. Kevin, what do you see becoming of the repercussions of this, and what are your thoughts?
I don't know. I tend to think that there are going to be some pretty big sweeping changes to EA. Potential studio shutdowns, a lot of slashing of jobs, and I don't know what kind of
Heads? No,
influence.
sorry, sorry.
I don't know what kind of influence they're going to have over the creative aspect. I'm assuming a decent amount. I don't know. I mean, I don't know exactly what this holds. I just don't like it. I'm not a fan of an American company being bought out by a foreign entity with money where we don't understand the origin of to a people who are don't hold the same types of values that we do here in the West. So I don't know. I
Which, to be fair, that line is getting grayer every day over here
sure.
as well. Just to play devil's advocate to that, but I totally understand what you meant by that.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. Whatever. It's just exhausting. It's exhausting at this point. I think it sucks and I'm if I worked at EA, I'd be looking for a
Get
job.
the
I
get
can
that
tell you
LinkedIn
that.
profile updated.
Get the LinkedIn, get the resume moving, run
And
it
then
through ChatGPT and
we jest, but this is gonna fucking suck. Like, there was another article of that was released that they've already this happened 24 hours ago, and they're already talking about how they plan on utilizing artificial intelligence to subsidize a lot of the work. What that means, we don't know, but I'm gonna guarantee you, as far as gaming development goes, they see how easy it is to make something AI in film. We knew this was going to come to games. I didn't think it would happen in this way. I didn't think it would happen this quickly. But yeah, I feel for devs, man. There's a lot of good teams at EA, but to be fair, EA has already they've destroyed themselves from within. From canning the Dead Space developers. I'm going to tell you right now. Uh, I think Bioware's gone. There
I
will
think so
never
too.
there will never be another Mass Effect. I think Dragon Age. What was the last one that just came out?
The new age, right?
Yeah,
Or uh, is it? It's new age, eh?
I think so. I didn't.
Inquisition.
No, Inquisition was the last one.
That was the
Uh,
other. That was a good one.
yeah,
Veilguard. The Veilguard.
Veilguard, Dragon Age Veilguard. That's probably the last game Bioware is going to make. If I had to guess, there's going to be a lot of people cut from Bioware. I think there's going to be a lot of people cut from Dice, and this sucks, and it has me worried about the longevity of a game that I'm looking forward to coming out next week, Battlefield 6. I'm worried this is everything. Did you see the new trailer for Battlefield 6 where they put like Morgan Wallen and Patty Pimblett and all those guys in it? And
Yep.
people on the internet have said, they're kind of taking jabs at COD, which I think is halfway true. It was more so the class system that was in
Yep.
that. It's such a well done trailer, and if you go watch that, it's very entertaining. It reminds me of advertising we used to get in the early 2010s.
Yes.
But what sucks is Battlefield 6 has prodded itself to be that we're going to be very grounded. We're going to be very boots on ground. We're not going to change. We're not going to have these crazy skins in the game. Um, Battlefield is also known for, kind of being a game as a service because they don't release annually like Call of Duty. I don't know if this is going to change to where they're like, yeah, we're going to release, this is our flagship, we're going to release this, or are they going to bring back Medal of Honor or something to compete? But it's just not going to be good. It won't be. And now it worries me is that what is this going to do to the in-game purchases in Battlefield and the longevity of that game? I guarantee you now with this, who the fuck knows? I guarantee you there's a dev that's like, fuck, all my hard work, everything that I worked for is going to be taken away. And it probably will be. So my advice to anybody wanting to play Battlefield, uh, play it within the first 6 months, because has this deal officially closed? Because you know how like the Microsoft, it had to get like approved. This is
It
closed.
has to
This
get approved and everything. Not yet. They said They said Q1 of 27 is when they think that it'll be official.
okay.
Official.
So maybe this will be the last good Battlefield. Hopefully it's good, and they I hope the devs that are still there at Dice are just gonna throw fucking everything that you wanted from Battlefield 4. Just give the fans what they want, because this is probably going to change the landscape of anything EA proprietarily owns forever.
Agreed. Yeah. Well, that's it on that. Let's move to some more exciting news. This also comes from IGN. Everything, I guess, this week is from IGN. They just had the better write ups. Honestly, Halo
Surprising for
Studio.
once.
I know it's usually VGC.
It's the same
Um,
writer.
it's the same. Yeah, it's the same person. Is this just a ghostwriter or like I don't know. Let me.
I don't know.
I'm Wesley Yinpool. No, he's director. He's the guy. Halo Studio teases deep dive on what it's been working on at an October panel you won't want to miss. Halo Studios looks set to unveil more of what it's been working on in October. In a post on Halo Waypoint, the Microsoft-owned developer said it has a panel planned for Friday, October 24th at the Halo World Championship 2025. It's a big esports event. Quote, back in June, we let the community know that we'd be continuing the conversation from last year's Halo WC and a New Dawn video sharing more about what we've been working on, Halo Studio said. Quote, like last year, we'll be on the main stage to talk about it, but this year we also have a deep dive panel planned for the community stage that you won't want to miss. During the same event last October, Halo developer 343 announced it had changed its name to Halo Studios and confirmed multiple projects were in the works. In the same breath, Halo Studios said all its future games would be developed on Unreal Engine, leaving behind the slip space engine used by Halo Infinite. These announcements were unveiled in a 7-minute video shown ahead of Halo World Championships Grand Finals. So, what could Halo have up its sleeves for the announcement? We may get a more technical, a detailed tech demo showing Halo running in Unreal Engine. Earlier this year, Microsoft was reported to be readying a Halo Combat Evolved remaster for release in 2026. Perhaps it's time for an official announcement. I tend to think that they are going to finally reveal the Halo Combat Evolved trailer. We'll see some gameplay, and I think we're going to see that it'll be released for Nintendo Switch and PlayStation 5. What are your thoughts?
I think you're 100% right. I think this is when Halo gets announced for other consoles. And I think they rebanded from 343 to Halo Studios. I remember that trailer showing off in Unreal Engine 5 before we all knew what piece of shit Unreal Engine 5 is. So I am not thrilled about this whatsoever. I was back then because the trailer, if you haven't seen it, it's a beautiful trailer, and it basically takes all the environments from Halo Infinite and one of the maps and updates it, and just it does. Unreal Engine 5 is a great engine, and it's just I don't know. We'll see. Maybe they have had more time with this. It does seem that way. I would think. I think the developers at Halo Studios probably have more assets and money as opposed to the team that worked at Konami to do Metal Gear Solid Delta. Um, did they have more money and resources than Take Two and Gearbox for Borderlands? Probably not. Um, but at the same time, it is such a massive franchise. I think we'll get something. I'm betting money it's a complete remake of Combat Evolved, and I think you probably get. Can I give you like an off the wall prediction?
Yeah,
I'm
please.
I'm gonna say. Remember how shitty the Master Chief Collection was when it launched? I'm
Yeah.
gonna say you get them. There's gonna be a full remake of Combat Evolved that's gonna come out for everything. They're gonna do an update to Halo Infinite with this engine. Infinite comes to the multiplayer, at least comes to all consoles, and I bet a complete overhauled, maybe not an Unreal Engine 5, but I bet a reworked version of the Master Chief Collection comes to all consoles, PS5, Switch, Series X, something updated because uh, while Combat Evolved, did it first, Halo 2's multiplayer is revered. And I'm like, if you're going to put this on every other console, you need to have that out there, or Infinite, at least, because Infinite has a lot of the maps. And I don't know if you played it recently. Infinite's actually pretty good. I like it. it and I didn't hate it at launch. And I thought that engine was fine too. I know you had the God, I can't think. Our listener Trevor's going to kill me on the enemy for Halo, but remember when Infinite first got launched, and
Craig.
yeah,
Craig,
remember
right?
how
Yeah.
that looked? Yeah, that looked terrible. They fixed things, and maybe that's why they're doing this. And they rebranded as Halo
Craig.
Studios because people lost all faith in 343. Um, I don't know. I but you have to do that, right? If you're bringing, they can't just say here's Combat Evolved and no multiplayer for, you know what I mean?
I mean, they could. They're Halo Studios, but I love I I love the idea of bringing Infinite over, or at least the multiplayer over. Halo Infinite is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I didn't play the single player, but I have played many, 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 many hours of the multiplayer. I think it's a blast. It plays like a dream. It feels modern, but it feels Halo. I just love that style of shooter. I grinded ranked when it came out. I got pretty high in the ranks. I was a platinum or above. I can't remember, but I really, really dove into that multiplayer, got pretty good at it, believe it or not. And they changed the ranks. A bunch of things changed and I dropped off, but I still go back and play every once in a while. I think the game is really great. It's solid. I think it would do gangbusters on PlayStation.
Yeah.
I think if you were
100%.
to bring Combat Evolved over and you were to bring Infinite over, people would play the shit out of that. I mean, even if you charge 20 or 30 bucks for the multiplayer of Infinite and whatever, I mean, listen, yeah, just do it. it's just so much money waiting for Xbox. Hopefully, it can pump some money into that studio and revitalize them to continue making good games because I mean, Halo Infinite, I think, got a really bad rap when it first came out. The Craig stuff was hilarious. It was like the funniest reveal of all time. The game looked like crap, honestly. It just didn't look good at the beginning there. They went back, they fixed it all. The multiplayer was great. The performance on my PC wasn't as good as I expected it to be. Maybe that's the engine, maybe that's my PC, but the long short of it is if you haven't played Infinite, play it. It's a lot of fun. Hopefully it comes to consoles. That Halo Combat Evolved will be announced. I have a feeling that's going to be the big release. And then, oh, how cool would this be, Joseph? What about this for a prediction? Hey everybody. Halo Combat Evolved comes out, you know, in December, available today. Halo Infinite multiplayer or main game available now on PlayStation. And I mean, I don't think it's a big enough space for them to do that. I don't think a lot of people are watching the Halo World, competitive esports, but that would be pretty cool, and it'd be really
Yeah,
nice if the game
shadow dropping that would be like, yeah, like I love when anything is a shadow drop. Like
me
doesn't
too.
matter what it is. I think because it's like a you kept something a secret. That's like in this day and age in gaming, like that's insane. And then
Yep.
B, it shows us you have the confidence in your product that it's going to be really good. I don't need your embargo. It's out now,
Yep.
and like
Yeah.
Silk Song did that, even though that game for a 2D side-scrolling Metroidvania was in development for way too long, um, but they did do that, and I think companies benefit greatly from that. I think Fallout 4. I think it was announced in May and then came out in November, and that was it wasn't what we wanted, but yeah, I love when companies shadow drop.
Me too. So we'll keep you posted on that one for when that comes out towards the end of the month in a few episodes. But we have been working through building a comprehensive list of our favorite 25 games of the last 25 years. So far, we have made it all the way from 2000 up to where we'll start today, which is 2011.
Had to limber up for this one because this is these games. There's some. This is hard. This was really hard to do with these 5 years.
It was really hard to do. There are some great games. I have some great memories with a lot of these games. But let's go ahead. Let's dive in. Let's go into 2011. If you're unfamiliar with the format, I kind of go through. We talk. I list the most popular games. We give a couple, ideas and thoughts on these games, some of our experiences with them, and then we have the very difficult task of choosing one, our favorite game of that year. So let's start in 2011. It is when Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim dropped, Portal 2, Batman Arkham City, Ocarina of Time, Zelda Skyward Sword, Uncharted 3, Little Big Planet 2, Witcher 2 Assassins of Kings, Gears 3, Dead Space 2, Dark Souls, Battlefield 3, Deus Ex Human Revolution, LA Noire, COD Modern Warfare 3, Pokemon White and Black, Crisis 2, Infamous 2, Resistance 3, Star Wars The Old Republic, the MMO, and then Uncharted Golden Abyss.
Whew.
Banger year. Banger year.
Yeah,
From Skyrim to, I mean, Uncharted 3, Ocarina of Time, the remake for the 3DS was really fun. I never got to play it, but it looked great. I like Ocarina of Time. I hear that the 3DS remake is like one of the best ways to play it. Um, Modern Warfare 3, Infamous 2, Resistance 3, Uncharted Golden Abyss. I mean, this is an absolutely stacked year for games. There are so many games that I could have chosen here. Um, but let's I'll let you choose where you want to start with these list of games.
you know, like we had said last year or last year, last episode on the last 5 years from to up into 2010. This is where gaming took off, and there are so many games on this list that stand out to me. You know, from Skyrim. Uh, I didn't really care for Portal 2. I like the first one. I don't even think I finished for Portal 2. Um, Arkham City, arguably the best superhero game of all
Ever.
time. Like,
Yeah.
I think Asylum, or we talked about, I think we said the same thing about Arkham Asylum, but Arkham City was just so much better in every single possible way. The Ocarina of Time 3DS remake, I actually did play. It was the second time I ever played Ocarina of Time, and my only time I've ever played from start to finish. It is actually a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. I had a 3DS. All I used if it was my Pokemon machine, and then played Ocarina of Time. They did the same thing for Majora's Mask. Just wasn't as good. Um, Skyward Sword didn't play that at all. I know about it. Never played it. Uh, Uncharted 3, like I talked about last week, probably one of the best openings in any video game ever. Little Big Planet 2. It was crazy because you had these very mature. This was the generation, the PS3 and the 360 era of gaming was very mature themed, right? Like gamers grew up, and so did a lot of the games coming out. So it was very cool to
Yep.
see something like Little Big Planet 1 and 2 come out, and the art style of that very great. Gears of War 3, least favorite Gears of War, in my opinion. Um, LA Noir. You want to talk about atmospheric games and very narrative driven games, that the facial capture they were able to do, that they, I can't remember, it was like Team Bondi, I think was the name
Mm.
that made it something like that, or Soho, or I don't know, something like that. But Rockstar published it. They were able to capture facial animations to detect when someone was lying or something like that, and you could just you picked if yes, no, they're lying, truth. It was such a good game. Told a great story, set in the 40s as a detective, right, working your way up the ranks. I never played the old Republic MMO. I wish I did. I wish I would have been one of the people to help keep that thing going. Uncharted Golden Abyss, one of the first games I got. I think I got it with my Vita and love that game.
It's such a good game, and honestly, it still holds up today.
Yeah, it's a great game. Is it considered canon?
Yeah.
Okay, because there's that whole love interest thing, and I didn't know where that stood in the canonness of Uncharted. But yeah, it's a great game. So I'll just end this real quick by saying my favorite. It was utterly almost impossible for me to pick against Skyrim. I In the year 2011, I probably played it a little bit more, and then word of mouth started going about this other fantasy RPG. It kicked off my love for From Software. Dark Souls is my favorite game from 2011. Did I play it more that year than Elder Scrolls? No. I played Skyrim way more, but this is a list of what are our favorite games from that year. And Dark Souls started my love for those games. And there's another game that's a From Software game that was very hard for me not to pick, so I went ahead and picked this one for this year. But yeah, Dark Souls, building on what they did with Demon Souls, Miyazaki, he's in the echelon with Miyamoto and Kojima and some of the best developers of all time. Um, Great RPG, tons of replayability, so many builds. Can't say enough about From Software and their RPGs.
Yeah, I knew you're gonna go with this one. It's a great choice, I think. The original Dark Souls is great. There's nothing wrong with that. It was hard for me not to pick Skyrim as well. I did not pick Skyrim. That's another game I spent
I'm
a lot of time
surprised
with.
you didn't pick Uncharted 3 because it's your favorite Uncharted. But I guess because did you do it because you picked 2 on that other year?
Yeah, I did it because I picked 2 and 1. I can't go 3 Uncharted games. That it just would be fucking ridiculous, right? Like, can't do that. But yeah, I do love Uncharted 3. I think it's the best Uncharted game. But I did have a lot of fun with the game that I picked, which is Infamous 2. Infamous 2 took everything great about Infamous 1 and just turned it up to 11. You're powerful from the beginning. The story is really cool. The kind of like New Orleans style city that
Yeah.
you're in is really, really fun. You have to play the game twice to see everything, which is something that games don't do anymore that I think is really unique about Infamous 2. The combat is incredibly fun. I collected the collectibles. I should go back and see how how far on the platinum I was on that game because I played a lot of hours of Infamous 2. I loved Cole. I thought the whole storyline was just really, really neat. It had this grittiness to it. It had like this bravado to it in a way that I thought was really cool, like that those games back in 2011 could have. Can't say enough good things about Infamous 2. It's just really great. I wish there was a way that they would bring these into the modern era so that we could play them again and experience them in a remake or remaster. Um,
I I
Resistance 3 is also a really good game from this year, but I think Infamous 2 squeaks it out for me.
I wish I would have played Infamous 2. The first Infamous game I ever played was Second Son, and I regret that.
Mm.
And I've never played Infamous 1 or 2. I watched gameplay of it. That's never been a series that I was into. So I hate that I missed out on that.
It's a great game. Yeah, I feel like a lot of people missed out on that. I don't think you're alone, but yeah,
I played fucking Prototype, but I didn't play Infamous. Like what?
I know that is weird, and I didn't play Prototype, so there you go. All right, that's 2011. Anything else you want to say about any of these games? Uncharted 3 is the best Uncharted game. I won't hear any other takes on that. Let me see.
The
But
only
Dead Space 2 is great, but
just
not one of
just
my
to
favorites.
just to piss off the listeners and have them write in. I think Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim is amazing. Like I said, tons of hours in it. Uh, it's the third best Elder Scrolls game. Oh
Mm.
yeah, I said it. I think it's Morrowind. I personally like Oblivion better than Skyrim. However, playing through the remake, I makes me realize that Skyrim is the better game. Obviously, it's just I had so much bias to I loved Oblivion back in the day, but the tone, the story of Morrowind and Oblivion, I think, are better. You know, it's a very old game. People have played it. Todd Howard's sold it on literally everything. I think you can play it on a fucking refrigerator at this point. Um, but
All right, 2012. Persona 4 Golden. This was the remake on Vita. Mass Effect 3, Journey, Guild Wars 2, Borderlands 2, Telltale's The Walking Dead, Dishonored, Far Cry 3, Diablo 3, Halo 4, Max Payne 3. I love Max Payne 3. Hotline Miami, Resident Evil 6, Black Ops 2, Assassin's Creed 3, my favorite Assassin's Creed game, Spec Ops The Line, Danganronpa 2, and CSGO. I'll take a second and talk about my time with Guild Wars 2. I love Guild Wars 2, have a lot of hours in that game. Tried to pick it up again recently, couldn't really get back into it. Really, really fun MMO if you're looking for something without a subscription. Max Payne 3, I just think that game is incredible. It's like basically playing through an action movie. The controls are really good. The story is fun. It's just like seedy, Max Payne 3. But then you end up in like fucking Brazil or something like that at the end of the game. I have some really good memories playing that game. I thought it was a blast. I couldn't put it down. It just, yeah, start to finish, I thought that was really great. Hotline Miami game is really difficult. And honestly, it's probably at home on the Vita, I think, the best. It plays really, really well there. That's where I own it, and that's where I played it. Haven't beaten it, but I've gotten through a lot of the stages. Super, super cool game. Very kinetic. It feels fun to play. I played Diablo 3. I like Diablo 3. I have it on the Switch. I play it when I travel, so every once in a while I pop on and play that, but nothing too crazy here. Assassin's Creed 3. This was my favorite Assassin's Creed and probably like the last one that I honestly really played. And that's everything without talking about the game that I picked for my my favorite game.
in my opinion, and I don't know, like I said, hearing you say some of these things, I kind of disagree with what I'm about to say, but to me, 2012 is one of the weakest years in this entire list that we've done. And maybe that's the old person in me because I love so many of those 2000 to 2005 games. But Mass Effect 3 ended poorly. But to talk about the things, Journey, I didn't play until like the PS4 version came out. And I really love that game. That's a very special game. It's a great indie game. Guild Wars 2, like you were talking about, to kind of build on that, the fact that it's still going on, it's not pay to win, there's no subscription, they're still released. I think a new DLC just came out this year for Guild Wars
Yep.
2. So still going strong. Borderlands 2, I liked it, still did not like it as much as the first. I know I'm in the minority on that. I think Borderlands 2 is widely regarded as the best Borderlands game that a lot of people think. I think 1 is. Am I wrong in that, or is that the consensus? What do you?
Borderlands 2 is widely considered the best Borderlands game
That's the one with
until this one.
Lilith and was it Lilith, right?
Yep.
The Spectre character or whatever. Um, man, Telltale's The Walking Dead. What an emotional, gripping story. I'll say something about that. I'm gonna come back to that game in the next year because I think something completely ripped off that story. But Telltale's The Walking Dead is phenomenal. Dishonored, the first one is really cool. I didn't discover it till later in life on PC. Far Cry 3, regarded as the best Far Cry. Diablo 3, wasn't a fan of. Max Payne 3, the thing that set me off was, you end up in Brazil. I like, to me, Max Payne has to be dark green film noir in New York. Or someplace at night in the rain, and it just didn't do that for me, and that's why it's my least favorite. But as far as action movies, yeah, it's awesome. Oh, one last thing. Spec Ops: The Line, very underrated gem. Not a lot of people have played this. I didn't play it till a couple of years later. I think in 2015 on Steam, because I was like, "What is everybody talking about?" Like all these gaming outlets that I listen to said it's such a great game. One of the best narrative-driven games I've ever played. The gameplay and the combat is so. It's typical third-person action adventure mil sim shooter at first, and then it delves into psychological trauma and mental health and choices of your actions, and it's a very, very good game. But my favorite from this year, just because it's the one that I have probably the most hours in on Steam, was Counter-Strike Go. uh, Counter-Strike Global Offense. It just changed the game to what originally came out as a mod for Half-Life, became this incredible arena competitive shooter. And when I think competitive shooters, CS:GO is the epitome of it. There's nothing that beats it to this day. I haven't played in over 2 years probably, but I could probably, well, I played CS2, which is ostensibly the same thing, but I could probably download it and play it right now and have just as much fun. Loved it. Love the community maps. So yeah, I love Counter-Strike Go. Global Offense was my favorite game of that year.
My favorite game was Borderlands 2. I spent hundreds and hundreds of hours with Borderlands 2. I played Borderlands 2. I played uh, the DLC, Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, that came out with it. I had all the guns. My build was crazy. It to this day has my favorite character in all of Borderlands, which was Salvador. He's the gun zerker. He can fucking dual wield guns, and there's a point where you can get this you get this build where I grinded for hours to get this gun and these two guns that I could use together and just melt the entire game. It is so fun. Uh, can't say enough good things. It's funny, it's witty. The story is good. Not, it's not the best story you've ever seen in your life, but it's a good story, and the replayability is awesome. It felt really fun to play, and I love looter shooters, and this really solidified, I think, for me, my love for looter shooters. I love the Division. I love, you name it. If there are guns with stats and gear with stats that I can play with friends or by myself, I'm gonna fucking play that game.
Right.
So This really solidified not only my love for the Borderlands series, but my love for just about every other looter shooter that came after this as well. It's the best. It is. I haven't finished Borderlands 4. Borderlands 4 is also very, very good and might overtake Borderlands 2 as the best Borderlands game ever. It's that good. But as it stands right now, my favorite Borderlands game,
Still be Borderlands 2.
yeah, still Borderlands 2 right now.
I
But we'll
wanted
see. It's close.
I wanted to not I just didn't want some super Borderlands nerd to get all pissy. Tiny Tina's was a DLC that came for 3. Assault on Dragon Keep was the Borderlands DLC for Borderlands 2. So I know
Thank you for that correction.
somebody's gonna freak out and be like, "Oh, you're such a fucking fan! You didn't even get the name right." So no,
You're
but
in a
yeah,
fantasy world with Tiny Tina.
it's the same. It's Tiny Tina's Wonderland.
Yeah, it sounds like Tiny Tina's Wonderland to me. Suck my cock. All right. I'm
Yeah,
just
that's getting edited into something 100%. Like that'll probably be at the end of my Kojima Love Fest edit.
all right. 2013. This this year right here is absolutely ridiculous. We have The Last of Us, GTA 5, BioShock Infinite, Super Mario 3D World, Fire Emblem Awakening, Nino Kuni, Wrath of the White Witch, Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds, Gone Home, Papers, Papers, Please, Dota 2, Assassin's Creed 4, Black Flag, Metro, Last Light, Dark Souls 2, depending on your region, Battlefield 4, my favorite Battlefield game, Outlast, NCAA 14. This is notable. You put this in here. This is the last NCAA we would see for over 10 years. Tomb Raider reboot, Final Fantasy, A Realm Reborn. For me here, there are two games that I really, really love. That I either one could be my game of the year, whether it's I guess I won't spoil my game of the year, but I'll talk about BioShock Infinite. I'm actually replaying through this right now. I'm still playing through on the Switch. God, man,
Best Bioshock game.
so it's so good,
I
and
like it
it is
better than 1.
it's a game. Like, it's less of a sim, more of a game. The story is awesome. The environments are sick. I love the themes in it. It's incredibly relevant today.
Yeah.
It's just great. It feels good to play. It even feels good on the Switch. You know what I mean? Like, it's one of those games that just, it doesn't matter where you play it. It's going to be fun. It's going to feel good. The progression is good. The pacing is awesome. It's interesting. It's intriguing. It pulls you through the story. I played this game in I lived in Port St. Lucie at the time. Like, I'll never forget playing through that game in the living room with, in the TV with like my my family, like doing whatever like in the background, and I am just playing this game nonstop. It was a blast. I can't recommend it enough. If you haven't played BioShock Infinite, play it. Play BioShock 1. I still have not played BioShock 2, so don't hate me on that. But
You don't need to.
just stop what you're doing and play the game. They have remastered versions of it. It runs really well on PS4, PS5, PC. Stop what you're doing, buy the game. It's very, very good. Battlefield 4 is a game that's also really near and dear to my heart. I used to play that in college with my buddies. We would sit down and play hours of Battlefield. Me, David Vicini, if you're watching this, what's up, dude? I'm sure you're not watching this. Still one of my really good friends was in my wedding party. We played fucking so many hours of Battlefield 4, that and the rebooted version of Battlefront. But man, I mean, just some real bangers on this list.
Oh man, dude, you're not lying. Yeah, it's definitely one of the best years of all time. We Everything is totally playable. I wanted to touch on A Realm Reborn real quick. The fact that they came in and they fixed a game that was just, uh, for lack of a better word, broken,
Yeah.
and they made it into probably the second best MMO of all time. At least it is this one of the best MMOs played today, behind World of Warcraft. It's probably the highest populated MMO today. The Tomb Raider reboot. I really, really like all three of these games. The sequel, which is we'll talk about here in a little bit. I think it's better, but this I remember playing this. I was like, let's just. I think I got it for free on PlayStation Plus, and I was just like, holy shit! Why didn't I play this at launch? Because I played it on PS4 when I first played it. Really, really, really like what they did. Crystal Dynamics did with the Tomb Raider reboot. Um, Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. I think it's one of the best Assassin's Creed games of all time. If it wasn't for the game that I picked, if it hadn't came out, I would have picked Black Flag 100%. But ultimately, I had to go with The Last of Us. But yeah, the Last of Us. You know, 2012, we talked about a game that that came out, The Walking Dead. Beat for beat is The Last of Us. It's a there's a guy in a post-apocalyptic carrying around a daughter that's not his as he navigates through it, and uh, one eventually passes away. But The Last of Us is one of the best games, narratively driven video games I've ever played. The gameplay is solid. Gave us one of the best multiplayer experiences of all time in factions. Sir, thank God servers are online to this day, because it's a shame we never got factions too. I love that game so much. One of the first things me and my wife did when we first started dating is she's not into video games, but she came over to my house, and I remember she laid her head in my lap and I played The Last of Us, and she was like, "Wow, I didn't know video games could be this way." And she was like, Ellie, I like that name, and that's the name of my daughter, Ellie. We like that game so much that we named our daughter after Ellie, and it's it's I mean, I know you're going to talk about this too, so I'll leave it at that. I just think it's just one of the best cinematic experiences. I think if somebody had to make me say what is a video game, The Last of Us would be in that realm of conversation of something I would show them.
Yeah, I think there are a lot of things that are special about The Last of Us. I think one of the greatest aspects of The Last of Us is that you can show someone who doesn't love video games The Last of Us and they'll go, "Holy shit, this is so cool." And they'll be invested not only, in the story, but if you hand them the controller and they go through one of those encounters with the clickers, you can see it's palpable, right? I mean, the game is so perfectly designed from start to finish. You can have questions on, oh, the gunplay isn't that great, or I disagree. I think the gunplay is phenomenal.
It fits what you're doing, right? You're not supposed to be some expert guy. I know Joel was allegedly in the military, but
Yeah, he's older and like there's a visceral nature to the game and to the combat. It feels weighty. Have you have stakes in every single encounter, right? It pushes you through. You want to get to the next area because you want to know what happens in the story, but you want to be safe as well. And there's all of these different ways that the game throws encounters at you and different things to make you more immersed in the
envir-
world.
environmental storytelling done at its
Yeah,
best in this game.
yeah, 100%. You can't say enough good things about The Last of Us and the type of game it is. It changed the industry. I think there is a pretty distinct before and after The Last of Us. I think it changed the way people think about games. I think it changed the way people write in games. I think it is genuinely that impactful. And it is a hallmark game. It is a pinnacle game. If you have not played it and you've seen the HBO show, just fucking play the game. It's better. And that's not just me saying it's better from being a game elitist. I really do think the game is better in
Yeah,
almost every single way.
the voice
And
actors are better than the actors in the show. The narrative
yep,
is better paced in the game. Obviously, I mean it's a game, right? It's going to be played over hours, but I agree.
yeah, just play the game. It's phenomenal. I mean, it's probably my it's up there on a top 5 games of all time for me. So
Yeah,
obviously had to be here on this list.
maybe not my top five, and I think that's something we'll do at some point. We'll make our top 10 favorite games of all time. I think we may have done that the last time we did it, but to put it in video form and to redo it, there's so many games that have came out. My list has changed. I think your list has changed. Last of
Yeah.
Us is definitely in my top 10. I think it would have to be, but it's just golly, shout out to the voice actors, and as much as Troy Baker kills it, Ashley Johnson is just
Oh,
phenomenal. Like she steals the show. I get chills every time I think of like just the way, just the little shit attitude she has. To where I think that's what the show really got wrong is the difference between Ashley Johnson's character development from the first game and the second game is very palpable, tasteful. You can understand going from this, uh, you know, little girl going through puberty and her adolescent angst to being a 19-year-old who's still a teenager but an adult becoming an adult, and she's just the character is so well written that season 2 of the show still feels like a fucking angry little pissed off teenager. And yeah, I do like the game way more than the show, obviously. But yeah, kudos to Naughty Dog and what Neil Druckmann and oh what is his name? Co-writer. He was pretty much the main. And gosh, because they didn't even. That was what I was like. They didn't even fucking credit him. And I've got
let me
to look
see.
that up now because it's driving me crazy.
He's credited as
Bruce
writer.
Bruce
Uh,
Straley. He was the Bruce
oh,
Straley
that's
was the
right.
original director. It wasn't Neil Druckmann. Bruce
Yep.
Straley originally directed it, and I'm like, how the fuck do you not credit him? And yeah, Neil Druckmann did the second one, and Bruce Straley left the company. But yeah, they didn't give Bruce Straley any credit whatsoever, and so um, you know we may disagree. I don't. I when we get to it, which one is a better game? I think gameplay wise, 2 clears it, but narrative wise, I think 1 is the better game in my opinion. But yeah, shout out to Last of Us.
Yeah. It's great. All right. 2014. Dragon Age Inquisition, Middle Earth Shadow of Mordor, Dark Souls 2, Mario Kart 8, South Park Stick of Truth, Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes, Divinity Original Sin, Far Cry 4, Alien Isolation, Shovel Knight, Bayonetta 2, Watch Dogs, Hearthstone, PT, playable trailer, Wolfenstein, The New Order, Evil Within, Elder Scrolls Online, ESO, big one, Assassin's Creed Unity, Infamous Second Son, Destiny, Sunsight Overdrive, and Titanfall. Pretty big year. I'll start by saying that I really enjoyed Shadow of Mordor. I think Mario Kart 8 is really, really great. Divinity Original Sin 2, or excuse me, Divinity Original Sin, I have not played. I've played just a tiny bit of Original Sin 2. Bayonetta 2, I've played and beaten. I love Bayonetta 2. It's a really fun game. Elder Scrolls Online, I have a lot of hours in ESO. Really great. Plays really good on PS5. Honestly, if you're looking for an MMO and something to just lose yourself in, that's a good one. Aside from New World, Assassin's Creed Unity, Infamous Second Son is actually the Infamous game I have not played. Destiny, Sunset Overdrive, I still have not played. Titanfall OG is amazing. It's an incredible game. Titanfall 2 is even better. But of these games, there was really only one that stood out to me, particularly as like, oh my god, I couldn't live without this game.
Bef-
But what
bef-
about you?
yeah, I was gonna say I'm gonna let you speak entirely on that game because we both picked the same one for this year. 2014 was the year the PlayStation 4 came out. It was really hard for me not to pick The Evil Within because Shinji Mikami, the creator of Resident Evil, left to create Tango Gameworks, and he made pretty much Resident Evil 4 with a new character and a new cast. And if you've never played The Evil Within, Kevin, have you ever played either one of those games?
I have not.
If I don't, you're not big on the survival horror thing, though, are you?
No.
Yeah. If you're a fan of survival horror, The Evil Within 1 is a must play. It's so good. The soundtrack is great. Take one of my favorite classical songs, which is Claire de Lune, and just put their own little spin on it. And it's such an amazing horror experience. Story is kind of all over the place, but just the atmosphere. Once again, atmosphere games, love them. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna let Kevin kind of take the floor on this entire topic. Yeah, Kevin, take the floor on what our favorite game of 2014 is, because we picked the same one.
Our favorite game is Destiny. OG Destiny. And I think there are many reasons as to why I was really drawn to this game. One, like I said earlier, looter shooter. Two, I've talked at nauseum on this podcast about how a game has to feel really good to play for me to want to sink a lot of time into it. And I think we're talking about atmosphere a lot on the podcast and what it means to feel like you're wandering and living and breathing in a world. And Destiny takes all of those things and they do them very, very well. Destiny is a joy to play. Destiny 1 multiplayer is fantastic. It takes that Bungie panache, that Bungie sauce, and it sprinkles it and douses it onto a really fun and capable looter shooter where weapons feel unique. You have like you'll never forget getting a Galahorn for the first time, right? And using that weapon and some of these is it Ace of Spades is
Oh
the
yeah.
Destiny 1 hand cannon. Like there are these weapons that you remember chasing, you remember getting. And there's a reason. It's because Bungie created a world that people wanted to play, wanted to live in, and people wanted to tell their friends about it. And they wanted to connect and play this game. Obviously, we've played a lot. I've played a lot of Destiny 2 as well, probably more Destiny 2 than I have Destiny 1. It's been around longer, but I have some of my favorite gaming memories playing Destiny. And it is it's a franchise that I hope can pull it together. It's in dire straits right now. People are quitting the game, Destiny 2, but nothing can ever take away the awesome times that I've had with the game and all of the memories that I've had inside of that game and nights where I'm just all right, one more strike. All right, one more multiplayer match. All right, let me see if I can get this drop now from, from the it's in straw, It's that feeling, that one more game that let's keep playing, let's keep living inside of this world, right? And it's an MMO light at the end of the day, right? It really is an MMO light. I think it takes some of the best aspects of MMOs, of the community of it all, and it puts it in this really neat first person shooter universe. And it does it all very well. Listen, Vanilla Destiny 1 and Vanilla Destiny 2 didn't launch in the best states, but those games ended up being really, really great. And that's what I have to say about that.
Yeah, man, it's a shame that it's just locked there, at 30 FPS on a PS4. It's a shame, and an Xbox One, that you can't get Destiny on Steam, because I would 100% probably. Me and one of my friends had went back and we tried to go through the game, and I'm sorry, we fell off and weren't able to uh, do that. Life gets in the way of online games as a service sometimes. But I would love to go back and play through all the raids, complete everything in Destiny 1, because I just, like you said, the tonal atmosphere. I think honestly too, the graphics, I think they look a little bit better than Destiny 2 does. A lot of things feel like Destiny 2 was just reused assets in a worse way. But yeah, Destiny 1, great game.
Yeah.
The
All right.
hype around that was crazy too at the time, I remember people were
Woo.
camping out because we didn't know what it was. We heard this is going to be going on for 10 years, so it's some sort of MMO, and it's just, yeah, which it
Hype
did.
was so real.
It did. It just
Yeah.
you know, temper your expectations, I guess. I don't know, but yeah, Destiny 2. That's shooting Destiny 2 in the foot. I love Destiny 2. It's just where the state of Bungie is now, putting myself in the mindset in 2014. It's a shame.
Yeah. Agreed. All right. This will be the final year for this episode here. 2025 15, one of the greatest years of gaming of all time, gave us The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, Bloodborne, Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain, Undertale, Fallout 4, Rocket League, Ori and the Blind Forest, Her Story, Dying Light, Cities Skylines, Pillars of Eternity, Super Mario Maker, Splatoon, Mad Max, Batman Arkham Knight, Mortal Kombat X, The Order 1886, Rise of the Tomb Raider, the best Tomb Raider game, Assassin's Creed Syndicate, Black Ops 3, or commonly known as Blops 3, Rainbow Six Siege, Star Wars Battlefront Reboot, Helldivers. There are some really, really good games on this list. Obviously, The Witcher 3 and Bloodborne stand out amongst the crowd of games that are still beloved. People are still playing to this day. Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain, I have not played, but people really love. Fallout 4, not my favorite Fallout game. I bought it, I played it, it didn't hook me. Rocket League, talk a little bit more about Rocket League later. Mad Max, Batman Arkham Knight. The Arkham series in general is just really great. And I think the Arkham Knight was a really great wrap up to it. Battlefront, Star Wars Battlefront. I don't even know how many hours I played in my living room in my college dorm of that game. I every single day we were playing 2 or 3 hours and we just passed the controller around. And it was some of the best gaming years I had, honestly. I was in college at this point, so my my gaming time was somewhat limited. I played a lot of things with my friends. That's why I didn't end up playing The Witcher 3 or Bloodborne when it first came out. But there were a couple games that we played in the apartment, and I'll get into a little bit more of that too. But Joseph, I know there are a lot of games in here that you really, really love.
Yeah, I wanted to say real quick on an underrated gym.
Mm.
It's funny. The night I was standing in line, I think it might have been the last midnight release I did. Was Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain. And while we were all standing in line, all of us Metal Gear Kojima simps were standing in line. It came out the same day as Mad Max. And I remember going, is there was like there was some guy that was like, I'm here for Mad Max. And everybody was like, what the fuck? And you know what? Shout out to that guy because he saw what nobody did at the time. And Mad Max is a phenomenal open world third person action adventure game. It's tonally it's very on par with the films. It's a very good game for its time. The combat system very similar to Batman and Shadows of Mordor and things like that. um, so shout out to Mad Max. Lots of great games here. Mortal Kombat X played a shit ton of that when it because I'm a huge Mortal Kombat fan. That's one thing I really don't talk about, but I've always played Mortal Kombat. I'm excited for the collection that's coming out here at the end of the month. But I've played through all the Mortal Kombat's. Really a big fan of like for some reason I am a fan of the lore of Mortal Kombat. I don't like playing fighting games online because I just get my ass kicked. Um, Dying Light was a great game. Phenomenal. God, it was so fucking terrifying playing at night.
Yeah.
Is not playing physically at night, but in the game when it went night, all the zombies became like freaks of nature. Um, Pillars of Eternity was a love letter to the modern art or the old CRPGs of its day. If you like CRPGs and you have not played Pillars of Eternity, cannot stress Obsidian knocked it out of the park. If you're a fan of any of the original Baldur's Gates, go play Pillars of Eternity. Ori and the Blind Forest, man, probably up there in my favorite indie games of all time. Just beautiful, beautiful game. Um, there's three though that it hurts to not pick because while Metal Gear Solid 5 was Kojima's last Metal Gear game, and the falling out that he had with Konami, that's the thing that kind of sucks is it wasn't completely finished. They got out what they could. It's missing a lot of cutscenes. There's some story beats that are missing, gameplay, but the gameplay it's the best Metal Gear Solid in terms of gameplay. If you want a fun game to just fuck around in a sandbox and stealth play through, it is amazing. I cannot stress how good Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain is as a video game. Once you get out into the open world, it is just a lot of fun. I picked Dark Souls earlier just because it introduced me to From Software. Bloodborne is my favorite FromSoft game, and I love it. And I cannot. I pray that one day we get that remake or remaster for the PS5, or it comes to PC, or even a sequel done by Bluepoint. I don't give a shit. Just give me more Bloodborne, because they've proven they can do it with Demon Souls. Just give it to them. I don't give a shit. It doesn't have to have Miyazaki, because I actually did like Dark Souls too. But when I think of favorite video games of all time, this game changed everything that I thought I loved about Skyrim. And I'm a sucker for high fantasy. And The Witcher 3 The Wild Hunt is unequivocally the best fantasy role playing game of all time, in my opinion. There's nothing that comes close. Um, in my opinion, there's nothing that comes close to The Witcher 3 in terms of fantasy RPGs. I'm actually getting a Witcher themed tattoo to add to my sleeve eventually. Hopefully, I can show that off on the podcast. That's how much this game meant to me, because I did play Assassins of Kings first, got introduced to the lore, but once this came out, I really, really got into the world of The Witcher, which technically is not canon. None of the games are, per Andrzej Sapkowski. He made a comment, I think, yesterday, that video game people just they don't understand his lore and whatnot. But it's the one medium where, people are like, there's fan fiction and then there's the world that got created. To me, CD Projekt Red made something better than the source material, and I really, really love The Witcher 3. You can play it without knowing who any of the characters are. I would say probably watch a catch up video of the first two, though, just if you haven't played it and you've been on the fence. Man, I'm still gonna get that platinum one day, because that game means so much to me. I love it. So sorry I drowned on, but yeah, The Witcher 3.
Yeah, I've played a good amount of Witcher 3. I have not finished it. It's another one of those games. I think, like Matt's right in earlier. There's so much to it, and it's such an incredible game that it deserves your time and your respect to sit down and play it, and probably be the only game at the time, if you're playing it for the first time, that you're
Yeah.
playing. It's one of those games that you just need to really immerse yourself in. But honestly, I don't think that it's a hot take at all that you said that it's the best RPG
I
of all
actually
time.
I take that back. It's not. I want to fix what I said. It is not the best RPG. I mean, it's the best RPG in terms of being an open world game where you're playing as a character that's already been developed. Um,
Sure.
like, as far as RPGs, no, but I think it's the best open world fantasy game, best action adventure fantasy game, in my opinion.
It's a damn good one. My game is Rocket League.
So much fucking fun with that game.
There is no better sports game than Rocket League. It is the best sports game ever, and
That's a
it's not close.
That's a hot take, but I will accept it. It's not my favorite, but you know what? I can't argue that at all.
It is so unbelievably good. The physics are incredible. The community is really fun. Yeah, I can play with someone who has never played Rocket League, or have only played Rocket League for a few hours, and have a great time. And then I can play with a bunch of people who are better than me and still have a really good time. I have two buddies that live here in Florida. They fucking love Rocket League. They are, much better than me. They still play to this day. They play all the time, and they play ranked, and they, know all of the fucking things, and they can dribble the ball in the air. Like, the skill gap of Rocket League
It's
is
insane.
unbelievable. But you can have fun if you're just jumping around and trying to hit the ball in the goal, or you can have fun really learning the game. It is accessible, I think, to people to play. It's just an absolute blast. And if you haven't played Rocket League, you should. It is it was a small developer at the time. They just absolutely nailed it. It's a spinoff of, was it super powered rocket, super rocket
Yeah,
power battle league
it was
chicken
some
farm or
long name.
something.
Yeah.
um and they tuned it up, and they changed it up and made one of the best games ever. Rocket League is so unbelievably good, and it's good no matter where you play it. It's good if you don't want to get good at it. It's really fun if you do want to spend the time and get good. It's incredibly rewarding in that sense, because you're constantly learning new things. You start learning about the rotations, you start learning about positioning, you start learning about how you need to hit these certain thing, like hit these different shots. It's just your back post rotation. Like, I'm crazy. Like, if my teammates don't like rotate through the back post, like, there's so many really great aspects of this game. I just think that I think that it is the perfect culmination of what sports games should be. Fun if you want it to be, competitive if you want it to be, and the physics are rock solid. Like, they are just so good.
Yeah, I'm intimidated by it now because I played a lot of it when it came out, and especially a lot on PS4. Um, got pretty decent at it actually, and then years went by where I didn't play it at all, and so like it's one of those games that I'm very intimidated to go back to because it's like, um, I don't want to suck for the team or whatever, or yeah, and it's changed so much that there's probably so many systems that it feel daunting, and so like a game came out earlier this year that was like, oh, it's Rocket League, but it's actual soccer. And I was playing so many hours of rematch just to chase that magic dragon, if you will, of Rocket League to get that feeling again because I missed it. Maybe one day I hope they make a second one, but it's like almost it's like, is there a need to? No. Would it
No.
work? 100%. But yeah, dude, Rocket League is the shit.
Honestly, if you were to go back and play Rocket League, it's the exact same fucking game that you played
Really.
10 years ago.
It's
It all of the mechanics are the same, it feels the same, it plays the same, which is honestly the best thing about it. It's like it's one of those games that you can pick up once or twice a year, and you're not gonna lose a step. I mean, you'll be rusty, but it's not like, "Oh, shit, there's this new mechanic that I haven't learned about," and there's like, "Nope, it's still
go put the big
Rocket
ball in
League."
the fucking net with the car.
Yep,
That's
it's
good
still Rocket
because
League.
you get what I mean by that, right? Like a lot of
Yes.
multiplayer games, you take it any time away from it, it's like, man, I don't want to touch it again. Like I will not play Fortnite ever again, probably. You know what I mean? And we
Yeah.
played hours of that,
Oh, yeah.
and we went from hiding in a house to the last circle to, let's go push. Hey, there's gunshots. Let's go push that team,
Yep.
and you get good at games, and then if you don't stay up with that community, that's why I'm really, yes, I'm going to play the shit out of Arc Raiders, but it's one of those things that I'm worried about falling out of and going back to. Tarkov 1.0 is supposed to launch, and it's been probably three months since I've played Tarkov, and even that, it's yeah, multiplayer games are very difficult to, especially competitive, anything competitive. It's hard to get back into it. For some reason, CS:GO just clicks with me, and I'm able to just, oh, that's easy. Um,
Yep.
it, Maybe it's a simplicity, but it sounds like Rocket League's probably in that same camp.
You know what? I that's it's a good comparison, I think, just because I think it is one of those mainstays where you can pop back in and feel like you know what you're doing. And it's not, it's not Tarkov. It's not, you don't have these huge wipes and resets and there's a new meta and there's, you know what I mean? It's not that.
They didn't change
It
the
is,
gameplay at all. It's still there's new maps and new cars, basically
yeah.
skins.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And the cars all play the same.
that's good.
They
Good.
all they all play the same. There's no difference. It's just it's really, really cool. Fuck, man, I'm so excited about Arc Raiders.
Yeah.
All right. That about wraps it up for episode 30 of the Remote Gaming Podcast. Another shameless plug, right in at remotegamingpodcast@gmail.com. Be a part of the
Mm.
show. Tell your friends about us. If you're watching this on YouTube or something, hit a subscribe, give us a rating on only if it's good on podcast services. I'm just kidding. You can write whatever the fuck you want.
I'm gonna put us
But
on Pornhub. I was thinking about that.
hey,
You know,
all right, everybody. Thank you for listening. We appreciate you all. Have a good rest of your day. Check us out on all the places, and we'll see you on the next podcast.